Oh, let's see what the transfer window rumours have for Arsenal Football Club today. First stop, smash the like button. Arsenal and Liverpool are among the clubs to have scouted Feyenoord winger Igor, 24 years of age, in recent times. The player could move this month for around 30 to 35 million euros. However, so far, no talks have taken place and no offers have been made. Now, bearing in mind, at the time of making this video, it's the 6th of January. If there was talks, you'd imagine there's some informal conversations either from Liverpool and Arsenal with, this individual's, agents and whatnot to try and see if a deal can be done, and then a bid would follow. Now, obviously, people, if there's been no bid, then there's nothing really to talk about. I don't know this player religiously, but from what I remember, I'm pretty sure he can play on the left-hand side. Fairly good 1v1, and I'm pretty sure he's Brazilian. Now, we know we need attacking addition. So if this is the man, fair enough. I don't know if Liverpool are genuinely interested, or is it because, Arne Slot was Feyenoord manager, forgive me if I'm wrong. So is it quote unquote easy to link them with players like such? It's a bit like, if you're a journalist, whether Man United or Ruben Amorim wants former sporting players or not, that's cash money because there's some sort of legs, or some fans will believe there's legs. That's according to Court of Sides. Again, I'd love a striker. I think the priority has to be a versatile wide man to ease the burden on the absence of Bukayo Saka and actually stand up to be counted while we're dealing with several inconsistent players. We're not actually creating for our players, really, because in the draw against Brighton, yes, Jesus should have stayed on side, but really and truly, and you could extend it to when Havertz has played up front, what chances are we consistently creating over 90 minutes for our attacking players? You throw in the poor form and the inconsistencies from everybody, then it's not just one issue, it's a cocktail of issues, in my humble opinion. Moving away from that, Arsenal see surprise bid rejected as Arteta seeks January transfer. Botafogo striker, apparently Igor Jesus, who's ironically got the same name as Gabriel. He's in the spotlight. Apparently, Arsenal have seen a bid for the striker rejected, according to reports in Brazil, as Mikel Arteta eyes mid-season reinforcements. Allegedly, Jesus was identified as a transfer target during Edu's time at the Emirates Stadium, and Arsenal have now lodged a bid to sign the 23-year-old on loan with an option to buy for 20 million euros. That is according to Brazilian outlet RTI Esporte, who report that Botafogo swiftly rejected Arsenal's offer as they have no intention of allowing Jesus to leave the club on loan this month. Allegedly, their owner is reportedly open to selling Jesus on a permanent deal, which could entice Arsenal into making a second offer before, obviously, the January transfer window shuts. He has 5 goals in 22 top flight appearances this season. Not sure that really moves me, if I'm honest. Again, I don't think Arsenal have bidded, but I don't know. I think it's easy to say these things because Arsenal need attackers. We all know Arsenal have been linked with a number of forwards, including Benjamin Sesko, Victor Gyökeres, Alexander Isak. Whether they're feasible, realistic in the summer, let alone January, is another thing. I'd love Isak, but that's a myth. We've also been linked with apparently considering a 55 million euro bid to sign Atalanta star Matteo Retugi, who's doing quite well for Atalanta. We spent just shy of 110 million euros in the summer, so that's about 90 quid. And you can't really say we've gone up the levels in terms of recruitment. We have the same old issues. Once again, we've seen our first offer apparently rejected, people. He's got 5 goals in 31 games for his current side, people. Apparently, he's continuing his form from his team in the Middle East, where he got 43 goals and 20 assists across all comps. Hardly inspiring, really. He's struggling in Brazil. You're going to struggle in the Prem. Apparently, Team Talk claims that the Gunners are among the clubs showing interest in signing Brighton's Evan Ferguson on loan. How are we going to get that where we've already utilised our loans this season in the Premier League with Neto and Sterling, unless there's a change there? But yeah, we've been linked with the Feyenoord winger. We've been linked with Igor Jesus, whether I believe it or not. We're still linked with Retigi of Atalanta, and apparently we're serious about the signing and we're serious about potentially bringing in a striker in January. Apparently, we want him. In late 2024, a new name began being linked with Arsenal as Atalanta's Matteo Retugi was said to have appeared on their radar. The Italy international has been on fire this season, scoring 14 goals across all comps so far. We are prepared, allegedly, to shell out as much as 55 million euros. Crucially, though, Atalanta are in the midst of a Serie A challenge and don't want to lose key players mid-season, which seems to be the theme, smash the like button, of numerous players. So I don't know if you believe that. Apparently, West Ham had reportedly agreed a deal in principle with Arsenal over the transfer of Kieran Tierney, and he's rejected that in favour of potentially returning to Celtic. And he's also apparently got interest from Leicester and Brentford, but hasn't been willing to take that on. As we know, Tierney's contract expires at the end of the season. Like Partey and Jorginho, on paper, he can agree a pre-contract of sorts. I wonder if the club would be open to letting him go. If Tierney doesn't want to leave, it's a non-starter. Now, it wouldn't be an Arsenal January window if Vlahovic rumours weren't there, and they're going full circle. There's a lot to consider. Apparently, Juventus have offered Vlahovic to Man United as part of a deal for Joshua Zirkzee. As we know, Vlahovic has 18 months left on his deal, and apparently there's been no progress over contract renewals, people. Apparently, in the summer, they'll make him available for 65 million euros, which is about 50 odd million quid, or just there and about. PSG, Man United, and Arsenal are all apparently linked with him, people. This article has said we're prepared to move from this window. Arsenal reportedly keeping close tabs on Juventus star Vlahovic as Mikel Arteta weighs up whether to splash the cash on a top-level striker this month. The Gunners trail Premier League leaders Liverpool by 6 points, and they're looking at bolstering several key areas in the coming weeks. Following the injury to Bukayo Saka, Arsenal considering moves for new wingers. As we exclusively revealed, Atletico Bilbao's Nico Williams and Wolves' Matheus Cunha are among their top targets. Cunha, who seems like he's close to signing a new deal, if he hasn't already at Wolves. So where are we at with that? We all know Jesus is versatile and can play all across the front three. We all know we need attackers, people. Allegedly, Arsenal have made inquiries about Vlahovic recently. He's on our strikers shortlist and has plenty of admirers at the Emirates. Apparently, his contract is set to expire at Juventus in 2026. Juventus have been trying to tie him down to an extension. However, there's been no progress. So is that why we're being linked with him? Is it a mixture of the contract stuff, our need for reinforcements, and the previous credited interest in him? I'm not sure. The 24-year-old has notched 12 goals and got 2 assists in 23 games across all comps this season, people. We all know we're long-term admirers of him. Apparently, Chelsea are also keen on Vlahovic, and both the clubs mentioned are also looking at Liam Delap. Apparently, Isak is Arsenal's dream. Not West Ham, I'm reading two things. Newcastle are demanding 150 million, so we can forget that. So we've been linked with Sesko, Isak, Ferguson, Gyökeres, Vlahovic. Boy, whether these guys sign or not is another thing, people. Would you lot take Darwin Núñez? This has nothing to do with it, but would you lot take Darwin Núñez if Liverpool really would accept 60 million? Whether they'll sell him to us is another thing. Apparently, Arsenal make Alexander Isak transfer decision. Arsenal have made Newcastle star Alexander Isak their top priority for the summer window. Great. I'd love the 25-year-old, but Newcastle could be getting Champions League football. It seems that he's cool there, and he's got a number of years left on his deal. So if you're not going to put the money down, it is a myth, really and truly. Bearing in mind, Newcastle, beyond the obvious reasons of me not believing we're getting Isak, Newcastle spent a lot of money on him initially, people. So they're going to fight tooth and nail. Apparently, he's our key target for the summer. He's valued at apparently 150 million, as it says here, contracted until 2028. So another 3 years on the 25-year contract at the very least. 48 goals in 87 games in all comps for Newcastle is amazing. And that's a far cry in a positive sense from what we've got with Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and anyone who occupies the 9 at this moment in time. Isak himself has spoken and said, he said it's a dream to be playing at Premier League level. Playing football at this level has always been a dream, and probably the main dream that I've had. Playing in the Premier League for a club like Newcastle with a fan base like they have here is extra special. So yeah, he's not going to say anything different. The man's amazing. He's having a great season, and he's turning up in big games as well. Scored against us, scored against Spurs, if you could say that's a big game. Scored at Anfield, if forgive me if I'm wrong. And we're going to see tomorrow when we play Newcastle if he's there. Completely off topic, but apparently Frank Lampard, who's the Coventry manager, wants to add Rob Holding to his squad this summer. Rob Holding can't buy games at Crystal Palace. This article has said Son Heung-min of Spurs could be joining Barcelona on a free transfer, which has ramifications for Arsenal and Chelsea's pursuit of Nico Williams, people, as they will look to sell Rafinha as well. Again, a case of getting 2 and 2 and getting $1 million. Can't read too much into this. Apparently, a major transfer update on the future of River Plate wonder kid Facundo Mostantano has landed with Chelsea, Man United, and Arsenal among the clubs following the talented teenager. He's good in real life, amazing in Football Manager, I'd say that. He's dubbed the next Enzo Fernandez. I don't know if you want to go with that. Real Madrid have been linked with him, like with all the South American players, people. Apparently, they're not as keen on him as was previously reported. And the 3 British clubs in United, Chelsea, and Arsenal all interested. He has a release clause of 45 million, people. He will not turn 18 until August, so this is probably one for the summer. Apparently, an unnamed source close to the deal said there's nothing concrete and there won't be in the winter. We'll have to wait until the summer. Many have started conversations, but nothing concrete. PSG are said to also be tracking him, as well as Milan, AC Milan, that is, and Inter Milan, as you'd imagine for a talented player. Am I the only one that's bored of this Dani Olmo stuff? Disley said he's ready to make the Premier League move. Obviously, his registration, Barcelona have made a mess of it. Everybody's still linked with him. Even Bayern Munich have been linked with him. I'm not taking too much stock into this, people. But obviously, if there's a willingness to get a deal done or some reality where you could, then I would not say no to Dani Olmo myself. Once again, Barcelona remain interested in Arsenal target Alex Buena, according to reports in Spain, despite their failure to register Dani Olmo for the remainder of the 2024-25 season. What a stupid club they are at the moment, Barca. You spent 55 million euros on a man and you can't get him registered at 26 years of age. You're lucky he's a Barcelona boy, or he might just say, do you know what, this is unacceptable of an employer. I'm keeping it moving. I know his agent has come out and said they, they've got complete confidence that Barcelona will sort this out, people. So we'll have to see, really and truly. Apparently, the 23-year-old Buena has registered 4 goals and 5 assists in 16 La Liga appearances. Although he has played solely as a left winger, he's capable of being used as an attacking midfielder. He's more of a cultured player, neat little 1-2s than a 1v1 kind of speed demon. We've been linked with him before. Apparently, we're interested in signing him this winter. Arteta wants to bolster his forward line. Nico Williams allegedly remains the key target for us. Again, whether these things are going to happen is a completely different entity. If you still had any small hope that, we would sign Cunha from Wolves, Romano has said that Wolves have agreed a new deal on Cunha, deal verbally in place for the Brazilian star to extend the contract with the salary improved. Despite interest from several clubs, Cunha is set to sign as soon as official documents are checked and approved. Now, if you've got some still optimism with that, I mean, it's a verbal agreement. Verbal agreements and cold-hearted writing, I's dotted and T's crossed, are very crucial in business. But we all knew you weren't getting Cunha. Maybe the new contract's got a release clause. I don't know, people. Jonathan David. Apparently, 4 Premier League teams have made Jonathan David approach. I don't know if that's Arsenal, but we all know this is another one whose contract is running out, people. I wonder if Arsenal have got involved in the 24-year-old who could be available for free. Resego Jr. has returned to Arsenal, people. He made 18 appearances across his loan spell at Shrewsbury Town. I have no clue if Arsenal got plans to integrate him into the first team or he'll head back out on loan. He is one of the only Highlanders to say they've got a start and made their debut under Mikel Arteta. So you never know. We're going to have to find internal solutions. Oh, man. As I say, 99% of these rumors are BS. You just hope some are right. I don't think Arsenal's season ends in silverware if we don't act in the market, but that's just me.
You always just like,